Picture this. You book an Airbnb for hundreds of dollars. You're excited to relax on vacation. But then you see this. A folder of chores. Mop the floor, put out the garbage, clean the shower, do the laundry, all after a single night stay. But then you check out and you're still charged an extra $100 for a cleaning fee. When they asked you to clean, this is the Airbnb experience. Airbnb was supposed to be the affordable, authentic way to travel, yet it feels like a scam. And now they're paying for it. Their Q1 2025 income dropped by a massive 40%. Their share price has gone mostly sideways, and investors now think Airbnb is overvalued. But many guests saw this coming from a mile away. How did we get here? The 2010s saw the rise of the shared economy. There's the ones we know like Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Airbnb, but there's also a lot more. Turo, Getaround, Spinlister, DogVacay, Rover, EatWith, and many more. These were all tech startups looking to disrupt old and massive industries. Yet, the most successful was Airbnb. You book a room that's not a hotel, but someone else's home. It lets people leverage an asset of their own and fill a new demand. Traveling abroad. Rent out your home, have someone clean up and reset it. Profit. Own a second home? Charge short-term visits the price of a week's rent per night. Profit. Of course, it's not that simple, but it opened up a massive new market. Sure, anyone could open a bed and breakfast before, but Airbnb made it way easier for those mom-and-pop short-term rentals to exist. How? With visibility. A gigantic platform, a unified rating system, where you can book, pay, and organize your stay in one place. Not to mention, your stay was often cheaper than a hotel, and it was often an entire house. It felt like a gigantic life hack for the industry, and made you think, wait, why weren't we doing this all along? Airbnb launched in 2008, founded by Brian Chesky, Joe Gebbia, and Nathan Blicharczyk, and pretty quickly it exploded. By 2010, they passed 1 million bookings, and just over 2 years later, that had climbed to 12 million. Hotels were getting worried as they saw their customers move to this new, cheaper, easier alternative. For the 2014 Rio World Cup alone, Airbnb hosted over 100,000 guests. While bookings were growing, so was their funding. $7 million in 2010, $100 million just months later, $200 million in 2013, all the way to $1 billion in 2016. Then came 2020. When the pandemic hit, many thought that was the end of Airbnb. Very few were traveling. One industry report wrote, "In the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, travelers felt more at ease staying at fully equipped properties than at hotels, where social distancing could be challenging." In their 2020 IPO, Airbnb had a valuation of $47 billion, and soon after, in Q3 2021, recorded its first profit, $834 million on $2.2 billion in revenue. The company was growing massive and fast, while other shared economy companies were struggling. Uber, for one, had lost over $32 billion, and even after going public, still hadn't turned a profit. Many of the other startups fizzled out and went bankrupt. But Airbnb was different. Revenue was climbing, profit was growing. That brings us to today. Look at their revenue. Massive growth until 2025, where it's very flat. In the first quarter of 2025, their revenue grew 6%, but their net income dropped by 41%, from $260 million to $154 million. Investors were getting worried. Maybe Airbnb was getting overvalued? The stock price going only sideways and down doesn't help. Some are even shorting the company. What's going on? Airbnb was exploding, but now it's dying? Over the years, guests began to notice a pattern. The easy, cheaper Airbnb started showing some quirks. One of them was the cleaning fee. However, the problem isn't just the cleaning fee. It's that this is often charged to you after you stay. Despite many hosts charging you a cleaning fee, many also give a long list of chores. This was baffling. If you want people to stay with you and give you money, and you reward that with a long list of chores, they're not going to give you business. To make matters worse, Airbnbs have been getting more expensive. The average daily rate surged in late 2021, as much as 20%. This was the high demand after the pandemic and the low supply. Yet, it kept going up. In early 2024, the rates in Europe and North America surged up 18.8% and 13.9% respectively. There was a deep resentment toward Airbnb. Not only that, there was a clear disconnect between the hosts and guests. One host argument is, "We're not a hotel, it's a shared economy. Guests don't understand what this entails. Flat cleaning fee because we can't know where you touched, so we gotta deep clean the whole house regardless of stay length." This partially makes sense, but most of this doesn't quite hold up. Hosts might be in the shared economy and say guests just don't understand the industry, but guests are thinking, "Why am I doing chores on vacation?" Whether hosts like it or not, they're still competing against hotels. When you charge hotel tier prices, you can't sneak in chore lists and call it home sharing. Hosts were becoming condescending, arrogant, and even a bit entitled, and this made guests want to use the app even less. If you annoy your customers, they're just going to go elsewhere. To be clear, you should not trash your Airbnb. Put the dishes in the dishwasher and trash in the bin. But can you imagine if you went to a cafe and the owner asked, "Could you please clean the dishes?" and then charged you a cleaning fee after doing so? Airbnb bookings are slowing down and profit is falling, and we can see why. Yet something else is also happening. Guests began to ask the question, where's the value? But outside of the company, something interesting happened. Somehow, Airbnb became a big advertisement for hotels. Wait, you're telling me I can get a clean room, fresh towels, daily cleaning, no chores, and even room service, no hidden $150 cleaning fee for the same price as an Airbnb? Guests began realizing that maybe the old way wasn't so bad. After the pandemic, Airbnb rebounded fast, while hotels struggled to get back on their feet. But now it seems like the opposite. Airbnb is slowing down, but hotels are growing. The average occupancy rate is growing slowly, though still a bit short of 2019. But the average daily rate and the revenue per room are growing faster. Guest spending also reached a record high of $777 billion. San Francisco hotels are booming, up as much as 70% in 2025. Airbnb hasn't removed cleaning fees, but it's begun changing how they work. Instead of a deceptive hidden fee, they're reworking the charge to be all-inclusive with the entire booking, called a total price display. It's how it should have been from the start, but it's a positive change. But it might be too late. The damage to the brand was already done. Airbnb's business is slowing down. The experience's relaunch has underwhelmed investors, with no material revenue contributions yet. Meanwhile, free cash flow is inflated by one-time gains, such as share repurchases, $807 million in Q1, which may not be sustainable. Many are even suggesting to short Airbnb in the near future. So, how is Airbnb responding? Let's go back to those financials. They've begun spending big on R&D, investing over $2.1 billion in the last 12 months alone. That's a 20% increase year over year. So, what are they developing? Airbnb is pivoting to services. One of them is Airbnb Experiences. Launched in over 650 cities, Experiences are unique stays you couldn't get anywhere else. Personal meals made by a Michelin star chef, a lucha libre training session with Retro, a professional luchador. Experiences are essentially high-ticket, highly tailored stays for the whales. The high-paying guests, less volume, but incredible margins. They even have an originals category. While that sounds like something from Netflix, it's actually Experiences for the super elite. An afternoon game of catch with NFL quarterback Patrick Mahomes, a beach volleyball session on Rio's beach with Olympian Carolina Solberg, or a glam session with pop star Sabrina Carpenter. Unfortunately, this hasn't helped as much as planned, but honestly, these services are some of the best things Airbnb can do. It's hard to be the cheapest, the best, and the most convenient. Airbnb has essentially failed at all of them, but their model is the shared economy, so why not leverage it? Their accommodation is essentially crowdsourced and will always be very different to hotels. They are also launching services. You can book personal chefs, massage therapists, personal trainers, hairstylists in hundreds of cities. People use Airbnb to book vacations, and listings always include things to do in the description. Why not go a step further and let customers book that on the app? This is Airbnb's new strategy: stays, services, experiences. But I wonder if it'll be enough. Airbnb shows what happens when you forget who you're serving. Regular people on vacation. Their massive R&D spend into experiences and services shows they know something's wrong, and it'll likely help. But maybe they're trying to fix the wrong problem. The issue was never about needing more features. It was about hosts treating guests like unpaid housekeepers while charging hotel prices. In trying to be both a tech platform and a hospitality company, they ended up being neither. Sometimes disruption just makes people appreciate what they already had.